and just, say first time, whatever you got to do. But because, we do want to attract newcomers. We want to attract newcomers into the Jumpstart community. If you have any friends in the freelance accounting world, please feel free to invite them, because we're on the cusp of some really, really big things, opportunities for all of us. And, it's become my mission in life really to empower people, uh, financially, by showing them and teaching them exactly how to get into the US accounting and tax market. Okay. It's very specific. It makes me easy. It makes it easy for me to get up in the morning because I know exactly what I need to do. Uh, and it's really just doing what I've learned, putting into uh, learning platforms the experiences that I've had, uh, and a lot of them weren't positive. They weren't pleasant. They weren't fun. Uh, but they were learning experiences. So I got way more of those than I'd like to have. But the benefit in that is I know what not to do. I know what not to do. And I've been doing this a long time, so I've done a lot of things that I shouldn't have done, uh, not knowingly, but as an entrepreneur, we try all kinds of things. Most of them don't work. Okay. When we go out there and we do, let's say, a marketing campaign, and we got to invest money into it, we have we have no idea if it's going to work or not. And what you do is you do trial and error. And 95% of the time, what you try doesn't work. That's a fact. But an entrepreneur knows that. And if you don't try, there's no chance of success. There's absolutely no chance of success. So what are we going to do? What are we going to do? Just accept, our circumstances where we are, or are we going to try and get that 1 out of 20 shot at success? Well, the good news for all of you is I could eliminate that 95%. Maybe not entirely, but put you all on the right track by not making mistakes, not making the same kind of mistakes that I did, not throwing money into things that aren't going to work, and focusing on the things that I know are going to work. And that's what we're going to talk about today. Okay, we're going to talk about AI. And we're going to be talking about this for the rest of all of our lives. And I'll tell you how I know that. I started in this business over 40 years ago, before there were even computers. Think about that. We did all our accounting with a lead pencil, and eraser, and actual physical spreadsheets. There was no Excel, there was no Google. Okay, and guess what? We got the accounting done, and we did thousands of tax returns all by hand. Okay. And then what I saw was the invention of the desktop computer. Changed everything. Okay. Because now all of a sudden, accountants had this powerful tool to streamline and save time. And it didn't always happen. It didn't always happen because people didn't know how to use the PCs. They didn't know how to use the software. So there was a lot of trial and error. But the accounting firms that invested in the equipment, invested in the software, learned how to use it, were light years ahead of all the people that didn't do that. Okay. So the first paradigm shift that I've seen in accounting was the PC. Okay. So I've always been, you know, hey, this is new. It looks exciting. Let me try it. So I was using PCs, right? I was what they call an early adopter. Okay. The next paradigm shift that I saw in accounting was when they created a program called QuickBooks. I was using QuickBooks before it was even QuickBooks. It was a company called Parsons Technology, and it was a simple, easy to use bookkeeping program. And Intuit, who had created another program called Quicken. Quicken was a personal finance software, and it was popular. Intuit bought Parsons and tweaked it into QuickBooks. It ruined accounting as we knew it. It ruined accounting. Okay, because what the people that started Intuit were genius marketers. Genius. They created uh, campaigns that nobody ever did before because software was basically new. It was new. So what they did was they told the biggest lie in accounting ever. You know what it was? It was you could save money by doing your own bookkeeping. You could save money by doing. So imagine somebody that owns a restaurant and now they're trying to do their own bookkeeping. That would be like me trying to open my own restaurant. That's insane. But tens of millions of small businesses bought into it. Okay. And accountants were terrified of QuickBooks because they said, oh no, this program is going to replace us. It's going to replace us. So it was almost like they wanted to deny that it even existed. And I'm telling you the truth because I can't make this stuff up. So what they did was instead of embracing it and learning it and using it as a tool, they ignored it and they left their clients out there hanging because the clients were going to use it whether the accountant liked it or not. And what happened was because people that aren't bookkeepers or accountants should not be doing bookkeeping and accounting. It's a skill. It's a skill, just like I shouldn't be fixing cars. What? Maybe I have a manual, but that doesn't mean I can be an auto mechanic. So what Intuit did was they took small business owners, which are the people that we work with, and they mangled the financial side of their business. Okay. People, because QuickBooks was so easy to install and start using. It's easy to click a check and record it. It's easy to create an invoice. Well, it's not that easy, but if you have a little bit of tech savvy, you'll know how to set up an item and create an invoice, which is what a lot of people used it for. They were like, oh, we can use this for invoicing. Okay. But then when they looked at their balance sheet, they would they would see, hey, I have $2 million worth of receivables, but I'm $3 million overdrawn on my bank account. And the point was they didn't know how to use the software. That was the problem. And their accountants weren't helping them because their accountant said, if I help them do this, then they don't need me. That was a fallacy. The truth was QuickBooks was just a tool. It wasn't going to replace anybody. Okay. Not if accountants followed the path that I learned. And I'm going to tell you exactly what that was. But what I did, because I saw the opportunity, I started offering business owners QuickBooks setup and training. That was it. I'll help you set it up, train you, and this is what I'm going to charge you. And I met a lot of people. My phone was ringing off the hook. And guess what? A lot of them found out that I was a CPA and I did taxes. And then the conversation went, well, if you know QuickBooks and you prepare taxes, why don't you become my accountant? So I took the opportunity and I took clients from other accounting firms that just weren't on the ball. Okay. They didn't see QuickBooks for what it was. The way I learned how to do accounting went by the wayside. Okay. And now it's come full circle because now accountants are going to have to go back to doing it the way I learned. And this is what the secret was. We actually had relationships with our clients. We actually talked to them. We sat down and we discussed their business like Myrna does with one of our clients, right? She told me every week she meets with one of our clients and talks about her books. Well, when I started, there was no choice. The business owner, usually all they had was a checkbook and they're making deposits and making payments. They didn't know how to compile all this stuff and create a balance sheet and an income statement. They needed us to do that and then explain it to them. So we were, in effect, consultants. Yeah, we did all the grunt work, the bookkeeping, the journal entries, and we produced the financial reports. But that's not why the clients hired us. They hired us to have that conversation, to get the comfortability, the confidence that their business was okay, that they were doing the right thing. And if it wasn't, that we could tell them how to fix it. Well, what QuickBooks did was it made millions of accountants data entry clerks. They became data entry clerks and tech support. Not me. I saw what was happening. I'm like, I'm not going to be a data entry clerk. That's ridiculous. That's not why I went to school for accounting and got my CPA degree, my CPA license. That didn't interest me at all. What accountants did was they said, hey, how can we do this now and make more money? And now what's happened is because of the shortage of accountants, and there's more businesses in the US than ever, accountants are overloaded. They get clients, a lot of them have so many clients that they can't even talk they can't even talk to them. They can't have that conversation with them because they have too many clients. It's simple math. It's like if you're a sole practitioner and you have 50 or 60 clients, you don't have time to properly service them all. It's impossible. Okay. So what do? They ignore the people that actually need the help, and they really don't. If a client leaves, they're like, fine, we'll just get another one. Okay. So QuickBooks changed the accounting profession in a bad way. It didn't help anyone. The only ones it helped were the shareholders of Intuit. Okay. Meanwhile, I'm over here still doing accounting the way I always did it. Okay. I would go and meet with my clients, uh, talk to them. And that's why I've always had clients, because those clients are the ones that refer new ones. Okay. Yeah, we do a lot of marketing. We do a lot of, uh, we do Facebook ads. We're out there. We have a marketing team, and we make connections through the internet. And sometimes those connections, we create a relationship with them. Okay. In the past, you would have to go to an event like what Coach Yan Yan does. Okay. You go to events, you meet people. Well, now the internet made it easier to meet people. But for the most part, over 90% of our new clients come from referrals, people that we're already doing business with. Okay. Because those clients trust us. They know us. I don't know if you know, they actually like me. I know they like my staff, but the marketing thing is they got to know you, they got to like you, and they got to trust you. It's not easy to get a US entrepreneur to trust you. And that's why millions, actually tens of millions of US business owners don't even have an accountant. If they go out there looking for one, what they're going to find out is they're very expensive. A CPA, you want to hire a CPA to do your taxes, you're looking at $250 to $400 an hour. Most small businesses don't have that kind of money. So what do? They wind up doing it themselves. They buy QuickBooks, they buy TurboTax, they do it themselves, and they get into trouble. Okay. And that's one of the reasons why we're at a time what I call the perfect storm of opportunity. All these different uh, things are happening. Okay. COVID made doing business on Zoom or any other video platform acceptable. It's the norm. Okay, working from home is preferred now. Okay, people had to work from home because of COVID, and guess what? They didn't want to go back to work. In the US, 4 million people didn't go back to work. They literally decided to quit their jobs and either just stop working, downsize, cut their expenses, or guess what? Start their own business. So today, what we have, the trend is more and more, it's like every year there's 4% more US businesses. When I started Bedrock, there were 30 million over 30 million US businesses. Today, there's over 33 million. Okay. So in 5 years, we got 3 million new businesses and we have less accountants in the US. That trend isn't going to change. And that's one of the reasons why this is the greatest opportunity, especially for Philippine accountants, okay, to tap into that opportunity. The third paradigm shift that I witnessed was the internet. Okay. All of a sudden, you can do business on the internet. Well, accountants don't like doing business on the internet. So, guess what? They didn't adopt. They didn't adopt. In 2004, I came across this technology called RDP, Remote Desktop Technology. It allowed me to do business, do accounting work for anybody, anywhere. It was the start of remote accounting. Okay. And like every other change, I jumped into it with 2 feet. I got my own server. I started putting people on the QuickBooks server. I controlled the idea of clients doing their own bookkeeping. Forget about it. We control that. We control the whole system. Okay. And that's how I ran my business for a long time. When I learned about this remote technology, I created a business called Pro Bookkeepers. And it was like, I'm going to change the whole landscape of accounting because I'm going to teach accountants how to set up a remote accounting business. Because before that, accountants were limited geographically. We were limited geographically. You couldn't really handle a client unless they were within commuting distance. And not only that, you couldn't hire talent unless they were in commuting distance. So if you think about this, how do the only way to really grow a business is you need people. You need support staff. And if your talent pool is limited, your opportunity to grow is limited. So what that did for me, it did a couple of things for me. It allowed me to teach my mother how to do bookkeeping and work from home. Okay, before that, she was taking care of my grandparents. They were getting older. They couldn't drive anymore. They needed to go shopping, normal things. So she was taking care of them, but she still needed to work. She was working 20 hours a week at a condominium as like a management company. When I learned about the remote technology, and she told me, she really needed to be at home. And I said, well, come and work with me because I have this new system. And she was like, what are you, crazy? I live 2,000 miles away. And not only that, she had no accounting experience. But I told her, I said, don't worry, it's all going to be on your computer and I'm going to teach you. So my thinking was, hey, I could take this business model and teach accountants, and they just didn't go for it. They didn't go for it. We marketed this to tens of thousands of accountants, and none of them wanted to adopt. What they did was they started sending me clients because I get into conversations with them and they were like, yeah, we're not going to do the remote thing. But listen, we have this client that we have a conflict with. We can't do their accounting, so maybe you could do it. And I was getting big clients. That wasn't my intention, but I was like, okay, this is strange. But that was the third shift. Okay. And again, the accountants that didn't adopt it were at a huge disadvantage, big disadvantage. Well, guess what? Come back to 2025 now, they don't have a choice. They're all doing remote accounting. After COVID, their employees didn't even want to come back. I have a friend in California, Myrna. she has an accounting business. And I remember she was like, my people don't want to even come back into the office after COVID. She was like, what do I do? What do I do? I was like, go remote, go remote. So when I started hiring people from the Philippines, I realized, I said, oh my God, this is a game changer. Because people in the US, unfortunately, don't want to work. Not that they don't want to work, they'll work if you pay them enough. And what they want in pay doesn't fit with my business model. My business model is to offer low cost quality accounting services. That's what my people need. My people are those small business owners, either just starting out or they have a small business and they're struggling. See, a lot of people think if you own your own business, you're rich. That's not the case. There's millions and millions of small business owners in the United States that are poor. Okay. They're struggling to make ends meet. Okay. So imagine you're running a business, it's hard to put food on the table, and now somebody says, "Oh, you need an accountant and you got to pay him $300 a month." There's a big disconnect. So what I realized, I said, "Hey, this is another opportunity. It's an opportunity for the Philippine people to work from home. It's an opportunity for OFWs to be reunited with their families. And all I got to do is connect them with all of those people in the US that can't afford to hire an accountant." See, because you have really an unfair advantage. You have an unfair advantage over accountants in the US. And what that is what it costs to live in the Philippines. Accountants in the US, yet they charge a lot of money because it costs a lot of money to live there. It, rent, utilities, you can't even compare what it costs to rent anything in the US compared to the Philippines. So that's your advantage. So you could deliver quality services at a lower rate, but still a much higher rate than what any of you are going to earn working for Philippine companies. That's a fact. That's why a lot of Philippine people have to go to another country. They got to leave their families and go to work somewhere where they can get a decent pay. Okay. So this Jumpstart community is my platform to try to solve that problem, to empower people, not only Philippine people, but those business owners in the US that are struggling. Okay. It's a platform to empower people financially. And for Philippine people, it'll give them a chance to be back with their families and in control of their career and their lives. When I learned about this whole OFW community thing, I was like, oh my God, that shouldn't be. People shouldn't, a mom shouldn't have to go to Dubai and work as a house cleaner so that, her family back home can eat. So for 2 years now, with the help of my team, with the help of Coach Yan Yan, we've been delivering this message. how to do US taxes, how to get clients, how to deal with US businesses, because taxes, accounting, the procedures, the procedures are the same, but not when it comes to compliance and filing taxes. It's completely different. Record keeping. US businesses are sloppy. They don't like keeping records because it's time consuming and you don't need to attach your records to a tax return. And the tax returns don't need to be certified by an accountant. So there's a big cultural difference when it comes to the accounting business between the Philippine community and the US community. Okay. So that's what Jumpstart is. So if you're just starting out and you, even if you have no experience like my mother, or you already have an established agency with Philippine clients, we can show you how to tap into that US market, which is just going to keep growing and make money from home. Okay. Now, the fourth paradigm shift, the fourth opportunity that I've seen open up, and this one is bigger than the first three combined, and it's called AI. It's called AI. And it's just like when, and it reminds me exactly of when QuickBooks started. Okay. And the thing with QuickBooks was, listen, either you embrace it or you're going to get eaten by it. And when AI started in November of 2022, that's when ChatGPT was launched. I've been saying, listen, either you're going to embrace AI or you're going to get eaten by it. Okay. So in November 30, 2022, there was one AI program, ChatGPT. Now there's probably thousands. Okay. There's only a few of the foundational AIs. And when I say foundational, it's what all the other AI programs are built on. So there's ChatGPT, there's Gemini, which is Google's thing, all because it takes hundreds of millions of dollars to create these programs. ChatGPT probably costs more than $1 billion because you need the hardware and then you need to build the software. So it took years. It took years to build. Okay, but now it's built. Now it's built. So big companies like Amazon, Microsoft, Google, okay, they all had to. If they didn't get into the game, they're going to be left behind. Okay, so these big, humongous companies now are building these platforms that we can use to change our lives. Okay. If you can, just humor me. I want to put in the chat if you're using any AI and what it is. If it's Gemini, I love Gemini because it's really quick and it's friendly. It's friendly. Chat GPT. What else do we have? We have a new one called Claude. We have Perplexity. Okay, so those are the big ones. And now you got the next level of all the companies that are utilizing those platforms and creating like smaller apps. And I'm going to show you a bunch of them today. So, that's my intro to this. I know it was kind of long, but I have a short slideshow. Okay. And then I'm going to give you some real life examples, and you're going to leave today with some valuable resource to help you learn and start using the AI tools that are out there. So let me see. I see only one person mentioned that they're using ChatGPT. What about you, Luz? I know you're using it. I know Marianne's using it. I know Myrna is using it. Okay, Dally. That's the one, that's a graphic one. That's part of ChatGPT. Okay, what else? Okay, so really, you're like the rest of the world, you're just starting to get used to it. Okay, Copilot, that's another one. That's Microsoft. Okay, just started using Copilot. So let me just tell you something. All of them are different. They all have different strengths, things that they're good at, things that they're not good at. Okay, and using it properly. See, that goes back to the QuickBooks example. When business owners got QuickBooks and they really didn't know how to use it. So the secret in utilizing AI successfully is knowing which programs to use and how to use them. And that's what we're going to be spending a lot of time on. This Jumpstart community, and especially if you're in the premium uh, community, we're going to be doing a lot of AI training because there's just no way around it. There's no way. It was like the accountants that ignored QuickBooks. Are there any accountants here that don't use QuickBooks? Are there any accountants here that never use QuickBooks? Let me know because you'd be a rarity. Okay, so think about that. When QuickBooks first came out, no accountants wanted to use it. Now they're all using it. Same thing with AI. Same exact example. And the other thing I'm going to tell you is AI is not going to replace us. It can't, just like QuickBooks couldn't. Okay. And the reason why it can't is because in the end, the US entrepreneur wants that conversation with a human being. They want to be able to say, hey, I know that QuickBooks is telling me this, but can you tell me if it's right or it's wrong? It's going to be the same thing with AI. They're going to say, Joe, I got this AI program and it's analyzing all my financial data. I don't know what the heck it means. Okay. And that's why I said we're going to be going back into being real consultants. That's where accounting is heading. So you could be one of those people that are going to be stuck in learning, QuickBooks and Zero. And 5 years from now, you'll be obsolete. If you don't follow what my suggestions are here, if you don't become that consultant, we used to be called trusted advisors. When I started in accounting, CPAs, accountants were called trusted advisors. They don't call us that anymore because of what I said. Accountants became data entry clerks and tech support. So let's go through this slide and then I want to share some really cool stuff with you. Okay, percent. Okay, here we go. So, okay, there we go. We call this the AI powered account, transform your freelance career. And here it is. Some of the facts. Global AI in accounting. Okay. It's going to be a $45 billion industry in a couple of years. 89% of accountants are saying that AI is already changing their profession. Okay. That's the ones that are honest. That doesn't mean that they're adopting it. They're just saying, hey, something's going on here. And Philippine accountants, you are in a unique position to capitalize on that, on this. Why do Philippine accountants need this? Because the remote work revolution is creating all of these opportunities. Think about it. Now, before COVID, I think 3% of the world was doing accounting remotely. It's not like, I don't know what the numbers are now, but I guarantee you it's probably closer to like 95%. Okay. That's what COVID did. COVID made doing accounting normal on the internet. International clients, I teach about US clients, but if you want to be in the same time zone, which is fine, you can work with people in Australia. I know that's a big market for people. Okay. When I did the research, there's over 33 million businesses in the US. There's only like 3 million in the in Australia. So you decide, if you want to go fishing, would you go fishing in a pond with 3 million fish or 33 million fish? Not only that, US entrepreneurs have more money than people in Australia because of the culture. The American entrepreneur has no problem going into debt. They have no problem using their credit card. So even the ones that are broke, they can still get money. Okay. Believe it or not, your English is impeccable. And I know it's a big problem that most of you think, oh, I don't speak English well enough. That's a mindset. That's a mindset. And that's why I have my friend, my coach, every month, he's going to be doing a workshop on communication skills. Okay. If anybody's familiar with the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, it was written by Dr. Stephen Covey. If you haven't read it, you should read it. Okay. It's one of the Bibles of business in the US. Tens of millions of people follow his teachings. And in that book, I just read it yesterday, communication is the #1 skill that anybody could learn. Okay. So this idea that you don't speak English well enough has to go. You got to put it aside. Okay. You have to overcome your fear. Okay. And I'll tell you why. I tried hiring accountants all over the world before I found the Philippines. None of them, not one of them, would I allow to speak to one of my clients because their English just wasn't good enough. We didn't see, you could speak English, but somebody from India, their English words don't really mean the same as in America. It's not like that for the Philippine people. So your communication with American people works. It works very well. That's why all of our accountants in Bedrock actually talk to our clients. Okay. Reality check about accounting. 70% of the time is spent on manual tasks. I know in Bedrock, our biggest challenge is getting clients' info and then entering it into the system. That's most of the job. That's the hardest part of the job. It's easy to prepare tax returns. Well, not that easy, but once you have the data, the hard part is done. Once you have the books up to date. Well, a lot of that stuff is going to disappear. It's only a matter of time before these programs, Zero and QuickBooks, they start instituting AI, you know, into their software. Increasing competition from automated solutions. That's what we're talking about. Clients, they want more. They want to know, what are you going to do for me? And they're looking for more of what I was talking about. They're looking more for that interaction, that, hey, just let me know everything is good. The advantage of incorporating AI: 60% reduction in manual entry, 75% faster financial process, 40% increase in billable hours. Now, this is if you're utilizing it, okay? Higher value services. So if you could put yourself in the position where you're actually using your brains and your skills to communicate what all this financial data means, you're going to be able to charge more money for that. When a client just needs basic accounting and tax prep, they could find out, hey, what's everybody charging here? I'm going to go with, uh, Joe Schmo because he's $100 a month less. But if they have a tax problem, they'll pay you a higher premium if they think that you can fix that for them. So by doing this, you're going to be saving time, being able to offer more different services at higher rates. The job market. Okay, so if you're looking for a position, right? Anybody that has AI experience that highlight, hey, you can get AI certified now. Okay. There's courses out there. I'm taking one. I'm going to be an AI specialist. I don't know what my title is going to be, but I'm learning to become an AI consultant. You can go out there and take an AI course and get a certificate. That's going to mean a lot. That's going to mean a lot to the accountants that see what's happening. Higher paying specialized roles. Imagine if you know exactly how to use AI in accounting. That's good. AI is actually going to become a position. AI specialist. Okay. New services you can offer. New services. Think about this. So when the US tax code was created, taxes weren't always, there was no income tax in the US for centuries. Okay. I think it was the First World War, the US had to raise money, so they created this income tax. Well, before the income tax, accountants were doing financial statements. Businesses needed financial statements if they wanted to get a bank loan, if they were a public company, if they had investors. Well, now there's this tax code. Who was suited? Who was the best qualified people to do the income taxes. It was the accountants. And I believe that we are the best suited people to help businesses when it comes to the financial side of their business. There's a lot of things you can do with marketing that marketing people are better suited for. But when it comes to the numbers crunching and analyzing the data, who else is going to do it if we're not doing it? Think about that. Fraud detection. There's ways to tweak AI to spot fraud. Okay. Strategic advisory services. We have a client right now that said, in 2 years, I want to sell my business. Can you help me with this? Absolutely. Because now I have AI tools. I have all kinds of AI tools at my disposal, and an engagement that 2 years ago I would have never even considered because that's not something that I normally do. Like, hey, we could do this as a service now, and it's called a procedure manual. It's like a step by step, this is how our business runs. That would be too time consuming before. I would have to charge my client a lot of money. It just didn't make sense. Well, now because of AI, I'm calculating my time like, yeah, I could do this for a really reasonable rate. So you're going to have to invest some time and money, right? Uh, the full versions of these AI programs aren't free. If you want the full version of ChatGPT, I think it's like $20 a month. Same thing with Perplexity. When you look at what it costs, as long as you're using it, you're going to get your return. You're going to get your return. It's going to help you get more clients. It's going to help you get more clients because guess what? Doing things like social media, websites, uh, graphics, things that you would have to hire a marketing specialist for, you won't have to do that anymore because you're going to be able to do it yourself. And I'm going to show you today some of the tools on how to do it. Okay, so now I want to talk about what we're putting together here at Bedrock. We're going to be creating an AI program. It's still in the works. Okay, but I wanted to introduce it today. Okay, so Jumpstart, is already a private community. We don't take, and it's limited to Philippine accountants. Okay, we don't market it to any other. If you're from the US, you can't be part of Jumpstart. If you're a Filipino in the US, you could be part of Jumpstart. Okay. We have weekly meetings, how to implement. And let me tell you something, this is a moving target. These programs are developing. I can do stuff with these AI programs now that I couldn't do 6 months ago. This is what we're going to be doing, hands-on training, Philippine-specific tools, and I'm going to show some of them to you. Immediate implementation. In other words, it's not like, oh, I'm going to have to spend, 3 weeks in training. And no, when you leave here today, you're going to actually be able to use these programs productively. And obviously, we're always going to support you. Once we have the pricing down, we stand by our products. I'm willing to give anybody 30 days. If you're not happy with what you're getting, I'll give you your money back. Okay. the pricing, what I'm going to show you today, the pricing is we've priced these programs so that it's affordable for Philippine accounts. So we're not asking you to even invest hundreds of dollars. What you're getting, what we're offering is you're basically getting a 70% discount off the market rates. Okay. We're going to monitor your AI abilities. Okay. And we're going to do that on a monthly basis. We're also going to show you, and we're going to hold your hands and show you how to brand yourself. Okay. So branding and marketing are two different things. A brand is, so Bedrock is a brand. Okay. When people hear about Bedrock, so if you're in the Philippines, if you hear about Bedrock, probably you're thinking, oh, they teach US taxes. Okay. In the US, if you hear about Bedrock, they're going to say, oh, they do taxes. Okay, that's what a brand is, and that's what all of you should have. You should have your own brand. Okay. Like Marianne has accounting peoples. Okay. Now she has TaskWise. So when you think of that brand, you're going to think about something. It's beyond the individual. When you think about McDonald's, you think about hamburgers, right? What happened here? Okay, so I'm gonna leave the, you could take a screenshot of this, or you can just go to, I'm gonna put it in the chat, you go to Jumpstart PH, and you could become part of the premium community. And the price for this is $3 a month. $3 a month to get live coaching with me and Marianne. Marianne's partners with us on this. Okay, every Monday night we meet. Okay, we'll answer your questions, we'll guide you. Okay, also you get 50% off of any of our courses, existing courses and any new courses that we're producing. And we're going to be producing new courses on a regular basis. When I put together our first course, it took months. It took months because I had to actually physically type every word. Okay, then it had to be edited. Then we had to make them into slideshows. That whole process, we got down to hours now. It takes hours to do something that used to take months. Okay. So we're going to be producing a lot of classes, a lot of new courses. Some of the courses are like accounting for beginners, QuickBooks for beginners, Zero for beginners, because we want to attract the people like my mom who had no experience. Okay. Another thing that shocked me about the Philippine culture is this mandatory retirement thing. Man, I'm going to be 65 in June. I'm just getting started. If I was working for a company in the Philippines, they're going to tell me that, oh, it's time for you to retire. No way. No way. And I know there's millions of Philippine people out there that are either close to retirement or already retired and could use another source of income. Okay, so I missed the platform. I'm going to show you our our platform, the Jumpstart platform. And then, well, before I do that, do we have any questions? Luz, you don't even have any questions. You always have a question.
Don't have question for today.
Okay. So Luz doesn't have any questions because we talk almost every day and she knows what we're doing with AI. And then I'm going to ask some of you that I know have been using this to talk about it. So let me share my screen. And the first one we're going to look at is what everybody already knows, which is ChatGPT. Okay, this screen. Okay, so up here I have a whole bunch of different AI tools. So now, if you're familiar with ChatGPT, what you might not be familiar with is something called prompts. Okay, the prompt is what you tell or what you ask the program to do. Okay, and I'm going to give you some examples, and I'm going to download this and share it with you in the chat, because this right away is going to be something that you'll be able to use. So that was part of my promise to you. I said you're going to walk away today with stuff that you can actually use. Okay, so these are prompt examples. So a bad prompt, help me with the presentation. That's not really a good prompt. Here, this is a good, I need help creating a 10-slide presentation for our quarterly sales meeting. The presentation should cover our Q2 sales performance, top selling product, and that. So the more descriptive you get, the better your results. Okay, here's another example. Bad prompt. Write a professional email. Okay. Even if you say, hey, write a professional email, I'm an accountant and I'm sending an email to my client. That's not enough. This one, write a professional, here's a similar email I've sent before. So you can give it an example. You give the AI an example. Okay. Encourage thinking. So this is from this program called Claude. Claude is great at doing certain things. Okay. With Claude, and actually with all of them, you could give it one question at a time. And if you keep that one thread going, you could actually go back to it later on and it'll remember everything. So for instance, let's say I want to craft an email campaign, okay, for a particular product. And I tell it, listen, give me a sequence of 5 emails, and then I tell it what product, what the benefits are, and it'll spit it out. I could go back there and say, hey, I have a different product now. Can you do the same thing? Okay. Bad prompt. How can I improve my team productivity? Now you could put that in. Let's put that in ChatGPT and see what happens. Now also, this is the free version. of Chat GPT. So you don't have to, and it's not working for some reason. Yeah, and this actually happens a lot. It happens a lot with all of them. And I'll tell you why. They break down, uh, they get hung up because there's 10, probably hundreds of millions of people that are using these at the same time. It's a tremendous drain. Uh, the downside to all of this is it takes energy. It takes electricity, which is a problem. Okay, so ChatGPT is down for some reason. I'm going to go into my paid version. And then let's try, while that's doing, let's try Perplexity. So this is similar to ChatGPT, but it's a little more detailed. Okay, so a lot of my friends started using Perplexity because it gave more detailed responses. So you see now, so it gave us a response, right? And they're basic. Hey, if you do these basic things that everybody should already know, you'll increase productivity. Let's use this one and see what. Now I haven't even tried this, so this is real life example. Okay, so look, it's given me a more detailed answer. Interactive refinement. So here's another thing. If you don't really like the response, or you want to have another response, you could tell it, hey, can you improve this? Now, what I do a lot of times is I'll do something in Chat GPT, and then I'll do it in another one of these. I'll do it in Claude, I'll do it in Perplexity, and I'll compare them. And then I'll take the one that I like the best and I'll run it through Claude again and I'll tell it, hey, improve on this, or make this inspiring, or create, 30 social media posts that are funny. Okay, so that's part of the power. Okay, so this little example of the prompts, this is very, very powerful. The prompts are very powerful. Let me show you something else that is powerful, and it's what we call personas. So what you want to do is don't just ask the AI a question. You want to say, hey, you're a Madison Avenue expert marketer. Okay, so this is just an example that, so I've been collecting all of these. When I see a good persona, I'm going to save it because then I'm going to use it again for something else. Okay. You are an award-winning certified specialist in blank, and your client asks you to write blank. So you could just fill in the blanks. You're an award-winning expert journalist who specializes in understanding problems that entrepreneurs face and help them craft a product and a message. Okay, and we're gonna do this. Product descriptions. You're a Madison Avenue expert marketer. You could tell it, hey, you're Elon Musk. Okay. And what it does is it'll search for everything that Elon Musk has ever put out there, and it'll give you a response that it thinks that Elon Musk would give you. Let's just do one. Let's see. Okay, email marketing. And we're going to use Claude for this. Now, Claude is a little bit more expensive. It's $30 a month, but you could write a book. So one of the things we're going to do, Marianne, on the Monday night trainings is we're going to actually walk our people through writing a book. Okay. So, and writing a book, let me tell you something, that makes you an instant expert. I wrote a book on pricing. So this is one of the things that I'm working on. Pricing models for accountants, because it's one of our biggest issues. You don't want to price your services too low, because then you're cheating yourself. And if you price them too high, you're not going to get the work. So I actually had the AI, and it took me about an hour, but it wrote a 180-page book on pricing for Philippine accountants. I didn't like it, so I deleted it, but I was just doing it. I said, let me try to write a book. And the way that I did it was, first I went into ChatGPT and I said, I want to write a book. Give me the chapter, give me an outline. Okay. And just step by step, I created a book. Okay, so let's see. You're a world-renowned email marketer. I don't know who this guy Bill McCloskey is, but we're going to go with him. And uh, and we use his writing style. Write me a sales email follow-up with a lead that opted into initial step of joining Jumpstart on, I don't know what this means, product benefit on, getting clients with tax. Now, the other good thing about the AI is you don't have to worry about your grammar. You can do long run-on sentences. You can misspell. It doesn't matter. It'll recognize it. Okay, this email should touch upon all the value points of AI. Now, I didn't even give it all of the right information, but let's just see what it comes out with. Okay, doesn't see any, I didn't give it the right info. Okay, and it's telling me that. Anyway, I don't want to waste any more time. Just want to use that as an example. Let me see what else. Oh, this is something I wanted to share with you. So it'll be, and this isn't mine. This came from the course that I'm doing. It's called, this guy Terrence, who's like at the forefront of a lot of this stuff, came up with this create system. Let me see. Yeah, that's a PDF. Create. So I'm going to share this with all of you, and you can use it sort of as a guide. So let me make this bigger. So I'm going to tell you what the sequence is. First, you want to give it the context. In other words, you're an author, you're a doctor, you're a lawyer, but then you could get more granular with it. Okay. You could say, and you want to use people that are famous. Okay. You could say, hey, you're William F. Buckley, journalist. So you tell it this is the persona that you're coming from. The result, what do you want it to give you? An email, an article, a headline, a script. Okay. What do you want it to do? Detail it, summarize this, explain it. Okay. Who are you targeting? Very, very important. So it's important when I say, hey, I want to do pricing strategies for Philippine accountants that are working remotely, looking for business in the US. Okay. The tone, you could even say, hey, make this funny, make this professional, make it friendly. Okay. Make it, a lot of them, and I laugh about this, make this what do you call it? Like frightening. Like make it so, hey, if you don't do this, you're gonna be bankrupt. Okay. And then once you do it, you could say, hey, can you expand on this point? Can you explain this in more detail? So, like, for instance, I'll go in and I'll say, give me an outline for a book about AI for beginners. And it'll give me an outline. Then it'll give me the first chapter. And I'll take that chapter and I'll say, okay, can you write chapter 1 now? And then I'll look at it and it's a process. So now let me take you to the Jumpstart platform that I created. And being transparent, I'm going to show you where this came from. This company, Deal AI, uh, they're one of the front runners. So I said, there's the hardware, which costs billions, billions of dollars to build. Okay. Then you need the software. That's ChatGPT. That's uh, Claude. Uh, that's Perplexity. Okay. So now you have, and they call that open source. So now you have all these other companies that can go in and say, hey, we're going to use your program to do this. So let me give you one example. This program Gamma. This program is amazing. It's amazing. And I'm going to show you what it does. And then I'm going to show you a couple of the programs that we have. Uh, and then we'll open it up for questions if anybody has any. So let me find something here. Okay. Let me take this, AI personas, because it's not organized. It's not in any, it's just not organized. So what this does, you'll see, upload a file. So I'm going to take, uh, where did I put that? Okay, you know what? Let's do this. These are transcript types. Uh, I'm going to show you. Let me show you what it looks like while that's doing that. Transcript types. Okay, here's the transcript types. So this is what it's taking. Okay, you see that? These are different types of transcripts that you can order from the IRS. Okay, now it's saying, what do you want? I'm going to do a presentation. I want to do a slideshow on that document that I just showed you. It's going to ask me how many cards. Let's just go with, what do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, we'll go with, let's say 10 cards. Now, what this will do is it'll go up to 30. And what it'll do, because there's not enough content in there to do 30 slides, it'll add information. So it's organizing. You know, this amazes me when I look at this. Because if I gave this to Erin, who does our presentations, it would take her hours. Hours. Okay. So let's see what it came up with. Look at this. Now I could say, oh, you didn't give me any graphics here. Make this more visual. So it'll give us graphics. Record of account. Look at this. It created the graphics. And if I don't like this graphic, I could take it out and have it do another one. Is that amazing or what? So imagine you want to do a presentation. All you got to do, you do the outlines, and you can go into ChatGPT or Perplexity and say, hey, I want to do a presentation on how to prepare a tax return. And it'll give you the outline. Then you just plug it into that program. And there's a free version. There's a free version of it. So let me go into, okay, this is Deal. So what Deal did was they went to all these underlying companies that have the hardware and the software, and they created this platform. Okay. And they made the platform available to anyone. They white labeled it. And there's a lot of cool, so I don't even have all of the programs up here. Let me show you. So these are, look at this. And they just keep adding programs. So if I wanted to add, like, let's see, lucky crystals or birth chart, they're like, these people are into all of this astrology stuff, right? So I could add this numerology. And I'm like, that's not what my people really are into. I don't think so. So I left it off of my platform. So on my platform, which I paid for, and it's not cheap, okay, it costs $500 to have access to their platform, and then another 500 a year to white label it. Okay, so it cost us $1,000 to put this together. But this is what we get. Graphics. So this is part, so what I did was I made my own graphic with their graphic program so that I didn't have their like plain icon there. So this is a graphic program, and you just feed it what you want and it'll create the graphic. So look at all these, and I'm going to show you. So I created all of these graphics, and this is how I did it. Create an image of baseball players on top of a bus playing pianos. Okay, crazy, right? Why would I don't need that. I'm just using it as an example. So we're going to come back to this because they take a little bit of time. Uh, let's go back to our platform. So I said, oh, here it is. Is that a baseball player playing a piano on top of a bus? Now, if I don't have an idea, let's do this. A Philippine CPA talking to a client, right? So now it's going to actually come up with 20 ideas for us because we're accountants. We're not image people, right? This is hard for me. So here's one idea. So it's going to create the prompt. So we got all these different prompts and we could say, okay, we're going to try this one. All right, and this one is, what are they doing? They're having a cup of coffee. All right, so I'm going to let that run over there. Now, I said, we're doing this specifically for Philippine people. So I'm going to show you, this is what they call an interest. So does that look like a Philippine accountant having a conversation with this client? Try asking a graphic designer to do this. How much would they charge you? So, oh, this is my favorite app. Now I created this app, and it's how to make a Philippine meal. And the prompts that I put in here was, what do you have? And I'm not gonna run it. I'm just gonna show you. So all you do is you say, I have chicken, I have pork, I have vegetables. And this is what I told it to do this. I said, give me 3 recipes. Okay. So I put in pork, right? So this is the recipe for pork adobo. These are all the ingredients. This is how you do it. This is how long it's going to take. This is pork. So I don't know how to pronounce it, but it's given. Here's the third recipe. Then it's going to give me what's a good thing to drink with this. It's going to tell me what desserts go with this meal. And then it's going to actually give me a shopping list. Okay. Because up on top, I said, this is what I have. And then it's going to tell me what I don't have. It's going to tell me what I got to go and buy. Then it's going to tell me, hey, if you want to have some wine with it, these are good wines with this. And then it's actually going to tell me based on where I live, it's going to give me the stores to buy this stuff in, right? And then I said, well, what if my people want it in Tagalog? So we did this. So now you can read it in Tagalog. And then guess what? At the end of this, it's going to show you where to go buy the wine. Okay, so I did that just that was one of my first apps that I did. So with this platform, if you got uh, the right level, you can create your own apps. Okay, and that's part of what Marianne and I are going to be doing. Uh, let me see what else. Oh, career. Okay. So if you need a resume, we have resume builders. We have a resume. If you don't have a resume, and what it does is it asks you, do you have any designations? Where did you go to school? Uh, so now this is a cool one. So this is it's an interactive persona. Okay, so I created this and the instructions I gave it was, listen, you're going to advise Philippine accounting freelancers on their career. And it's here, new chat, and it's going to stick to that subject. So if I ask it, you see here, I'm going to assist you with your career development, job search, and professional growth. Whether you need help. Okay, so let's say, how do I write a resume? Okay. So I don't, I could I could spend all day playing around with these things. Uh, but we have all kinds of tools up here. We have, so again, what I did was I went in here, I created one just for IRS research, one for state and local. And then I actually made one for Philippine personal taxes and Philippine business taxes. So you could go in here and ask it something. So you see over here, I asked it for something that, like, I probably said, how do I fix a flat tire? It has nothing to do with Philippine taxes. Okay. So look at how easy it is. Okay. Why do I have to pay taxes? Because nobody likes to pay taxes. If you like to pay taxes, give me some kind of emoji in the chat, and I'll find a good doctor for you. Okay, so look, it's actually giving me the reference. It's giving it to me in Tagalog. You're required to pay taxes because it's a primary. Yeah, I don't care about the government, to be honest with you. Only when I need something from them. All right. Uh, so that's it. This is still, oh, precision pricing. So this is another one, just like the career coach, but it's programmed just for Philippine accountants that want to price their services. So I think I've gone on long enough. If you're interested in this platform, uh, let me see. I have the link. Jumpstart. No. Oh, here it is. I'm going to put the link to sign up for this in the chat. So the Jumpstart Premium, like I said, when we started it, it was $18 a month. We realized that was too much. It's a lot for somebody to commit to $18 a month. So we lowered it to $3 a month. This program that I put together, the market uh, for it is $47 a month. That's what people are charging for that platform. Uh, what we're charging right now, and this is for early adopters. Okay, early adopters. Uh, we're doing it for $12 a month. Okay, and I'm going to offer this to you, $12 a month for the first 3 months. Then it's going up to 17. I changed my mind this morning. I said, you know what? Anybody that purchases this platform now for $12, that's going to be your price. That's your price forever, unless the company, raises the price for me. Okay, because every seat when you purchase this, we pay for it. Okay. Not only that, what I promised was a 30-day money back guarantee. So you could try this, you could drive it around, play with it, and then decide, you know what, this isn't for me. I'll give you back your $12. I'm willing to take that risk that you're going to start using this uh, and say, hey, this is worth the $12 a month. Okay. Marianne, can you talk? I know that you're driving.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. So Marianne, I gave her the tool to play with, and she used one of the can you tell us what happened with your experience?
Yeah, the first time Joe gave me an access, I really want to explore content creation and email copywriting. So, and then create a lead generation. So from that, I get leads, then I get 10 leads after I created a landing page. So it's just, like, so user friendly, you just play around, explore. So that's it. And then now I'm
Yeah.
using some of the photo coming from Jumpstart. If you notice on the community, there's always a Monday job hiring. It's AI generated.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you would enjoy
Maria,
using it. Yeah.
who's a marketing uh, person now, she created an app that does uh, 30 social media posts in like 30 seconds. You just plug in, okay, this is the platform, give me 30, okay, we're going to do this for January on Facebook. And she gives it, some parameters. This is for Philippine accountants. And it'll just, it's amazing. It's crazy. It's crazy. So that's my story. I'm sticking with it. Does anybody have any questions, or is your head spinning and you don't even know where to start? No questions? You can put them in the chat. Going once, going twice. Sold. All right. I guess nobody has any questions. Uh, if you do have a question, you could you're welcome, Cynthia. I just hope that, maybe I opened up your mind a little to what's going on here. Like I said, the early adopters and all of these paradigm shifts always are light years ahead of everybody. So this is an opportunity for all of you. So think about it. You need to be on social media. You need to have, assets. And what I mean by assets is articles, blog posts, a book. Okay. If and it's hard. It's hard to produce those things. But if you use AI, it's so simple, it's scary. It's scary. So I really encourage all of you, start playing around with it. You don't even have to spend any money. Just go into Chat GPT and try some of those prompts that I gave you. Okay, try using the create method. Okay, and be creative. The sky's the limit with this stuff. For the first time in history, we could create apps without having to know code. You could create a website. You could create videos. There's an app in here. All you got to do is put a URL in and it'll create a video for you. It's like, it's science fiction to me. Stuff that we can do today is stuff that used to be in science fiction movies. So, all right, I'm going to let you all go. Have a great weekend. Okay. So wait, we do have a Rosalind. So $3 is to be part of the Jumpstart Premium community. And I didn't mention, so with Jumpstart Premium, you get a bunch of benefits. You get every week, we have a coaching call. You know, you're gonna get 50% any of our courses. The $12 is for the platform, for the AI platform. Okay, you have to be a member of the premium community to get the $12 price for the platform. Okay. I hope does that answer your question, Rosalind? No, it's $3 per month. Okay, and it's $12 per month. And you know, there's no contract, you could cancel at any time. Does that answer your question? You're welcome. All right, so thank you, everyone. God bless. Have a great weekend, the first weekend of 2025. Make it a good one, Marianne. All right.
Yeah, let's have
So
a picture. I'm beautiful today.
Oh, I forgot about the
I will
picture.
post in my LinkedIn account.
Who's in
Yeah, we
charge
will
of the
make a
picture?
content about this.
I'll take a picture.
Okay, thank you.
Maganda ako today. Pagbigyan nyo na ako, picture nyo tayo.
Okay, 1, 2, 3. Smile. Ay, shit. Ay, sorry. Sorry, I think there's some. Wait. Wait, guys. Okay, game. 1, 2, 3, smile.
Oops, di na ako mihinga.
Next page. 1, 2, 3, smile. Last one. 1, 2, 3, smile. Okay. I just sent you Coach Yan and bye.
Happy weekends. Thanks, Joe. Thanks, Medra.
All right, thank you, everyone. Have a great weekend.